All right, so something that you have brought up to do that I'm really interested in and definitely got a lot of takes is just like the best and worst music of 2024.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be new stuff, but I'm gonna throw in new stuff, new to me,
Well,
disappointments, all
it
that.
starts up with the most famous thing at the end of every single year, your music wrap up in the music app.
Oh yeah, yeah, facts,
That really
facts.
tells you what you thought you listened to and what you actually did listen to.
Yeah, facts. So for me, I always have like my staples, like some kind of mix in that top 5 to 7 where it's Nas, Michael Jackson, Frank Sinatra, and Gunna.
Yeah.
Gunna's been one that has gone up there. Future, there's one more, Young Thug. There we go.
Yep.
So usually like that's kind of like my mix right there. It's kind of weird. It's like some current rap,
Mm-hmm.
some older rap, some classic stuff, some R&B stuff, but that's kind of where I'm at. Steely Dan's been in there too this year, definitely
Oh, I
made an
got a story about
appearance.
Steely Dan. I'm gonna say for the end here.
And so for me, it's kind of been a little bit of the same. The one that surprised me that's crept into my list in the last few years cuz now it's a staple,
Mm-hmm.
but in the last few years is Gunna.
Yeah.
Gunna was never,
Was that in your recap for
yeah,
2024?
he was in there. I think he was number 2 or 3, something
Who's
like
number
that.
one?
I don't remember for this year, man. I didn't
Oh no,
really.
no, no.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, I
fine. I
didn't
just
really
want.
pay attention. I remember that those it was a mix of
Yeah.
those though for sure. But yeah, man, that's another funny thing, man. Some people even be like, "Dang, you still listen to Gunna?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm a grown ass man, dog. Do you really think I'm gonna base my musical taste on if somebody's a real gangster or
Oh
not,
yeah, and if
dog?
he's a
Like,
rat or not.
come on,
So
man."
even his latest music, not just
Bro, I
his
listen
originals. Yeah.
everything he drops. I listen. I don't
Gotcha.
like all of it,
Yeah.
obviously, but most of the time I like most
You'll
of it,
listen
dog.
to
You
it.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, the funny thing to me about that realness thing is like you're by you saying that, that means that you're inadvertently saying I 100% believe this guy's a real, the other
Yeah.
guy's a real
Yeah.
gangster.
It's like watching a movie and believing it's true, even
Yeah,
if it's not
bro.
true.
It's like, bro, if I can't listen to stuff like that.
Yeah.
One and two, if the music's good, the music's good. As long as they're not, doing some crazy stuff like raping or
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Of
that. Like
course.
that's a whole different thing.
Some Robert Kelly stuff.
And the funny thing to me, bro, is people will be cool with a dude killing somebody, bro.
Yeah.
They're cool with that.
Hmm.
But let somebody snitch or not be
Yeah.
100% street, and it's like, oh, bro, that's the ultimate
Yeah.
sin. But the dude
Like they
that
ever in
killed
that position.
somebody
Yeah.
is cool with them.
Yeah. What Jari say?
The streets is a myth, man.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to Jari, dog, because that ever since he really like tapped into that mindset and just like that side of things, everything that you see as far as street goes, like on social media, has just been so fraud, bro.
Yeah. It
And
is.
and like I said, people be really leading their like dudes that's like living in that kind of situation or like are in the streets or whatever you want to call it, bro. Like some of them look to things like that for like basically like a guideline of how
Oh
they
yeah.
should be moving, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like, dog, if you're not just like I don't know, bro. Like I always think about it this way. Like when I used to go to the studios and stuff, there was this white boy that used to pull up sometimes, like to serve the rappers
Yeah.
or whatever. He will pull up with a book bag, and the book bag had like 4 or 5 pounds in it.
Shit.
And he's just, bro, he opens it on the ground, shows it to
Hmm.
everybody. He'll pick this, pick that, whatever, whatever. And he wasn't like no tough guy or nothing. Like,
Hmm.
but he looked like a square.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he's coming into like these
He
studios
didn't
where
have
these
an
dudes,
image. He had a business.
but bro, he was just he knew what he was there
Yeah.
for. He wasn't worried about none of the street stuff, none of that. He was never getting robbed, nothing. He just,
Yep.
hey, I'm pulling up here. This I'll do business. Bing bang boom. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you just doing what you do,
Yeah.
bro, who cares? But anyways, that's a
But that's
long.
an influence of music. I think that's partially why um, the music that comes out is, a direct output of that image that artists try to portray. But yeah, let's keep going. Let's
Yeah.
keep going.
So for me, like a lot of the new music that has entered my playlist in the last year and a half, I've become a Tizo Touchdown fan.
That's right.
Like a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff that he be dropping, his style is dope. His approach to records is dope.
Drake had him on there first. Nah,
Drake had him on what? What he had him on?
Drake had him on the track on For All the Dogs.
For All the Dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the first time I ever heard of him.
Gotcha.
He didn't have him on there first. I'm not trying to cape for Drake. I'm
Yeah, I
just
don't even
saying
know.
that's the first time I heard of Tizo.
Yeah. But yeah, he's one that I've been heavy on. Obviously, the Future joints. I remember you was mentioning that,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna let you get into that. I'm just gonna go kind of like a quick overview. So obviously, the Future joints. Central C was somebody that
Yep.
before 2023 and in 2023, I was real tapped in and expecting to see some dope stuff from him. And I'm not gonna lie, he let me down a lot in 2024. A lot of the joints I heard from Central C in 2024 just was not hitting for the way that I enjoyed his previous
Gotcha.
music. You know what I mean? Like he's so dope to me that like I feel like a lot of the 2024 stuff was like paint by numbers. Like he wasn't really like, I don't know. But shout out to Yoda.
Yeah.
He reminded me that the album dropped this year, 2025. I started listening to it. I'm a couple tracks in. Cool vibes so far. I haven't really been able to really tap in. I literally was like 2 or 3 records in, but I'm gonna finish listening to it and give my opinion for sure.
Yeah, I might tap into that. I've been listening a lot more of him in the background.
And then with that It Is What It Is show with Cameron and Mace, it kind of made me go back to listen to Mace again. Because
Yep.
like I had mentioned, Mace was my favorite rapper growing up. He was the first rapper that really caught my eye as far as like, let me follow this dude and listen to his record specifically. Because before that, it's like whatever the radio gives you, whatever you listen to, you don't really, like, at least for me, I wasn't seeking out music at that time. That was like 3rd grade.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But once I seen Mace on All That perform Feel So Good, that's when I was like, hey, this guy's name is
Kill that
Mace.
shit, yeah.
This song is called Feel So Good. I got to find this song and I got to hear what else he got. You know what I'm saying? So Mace is always like one of those pivotal artists for me. Like,
Yeah.
when I think about music and
Same
that
thing.
nostalgic
He was on my
vibe, you know?
top list when he came out too.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I've been tapping back into the Mace joints. Shout out to Unk. He put me on to Electric Light Orchestra,
Okay.
which is actually like an older group that I had mentioned some of the tracks to you, and you actually recognized them, but you just didn't know
that
who
was
did
them. Yeah.
And that was the same thing with
Didn't
me.
know them as artists. I
When
just
he
knew the
told me that
songs.
he was gonna go check them out, I was like, "Who is that?" And he explained it to me. I mean, they've been around since like the 70s, maybe the 60s.
That's fine, yeah.
But you know, they do "Witchy Woman" is their song. "Don't Bring Me Down" is their song. They definitely like a known and like established group.
Oh,
But
yeah,
it's just
big
funny
time.
how like you don't
Yeah.
hear stuff if it just doesn't hit your radar, it doesn't hit
Just
your
not
radar.
going to, yeah.
And probably like the last artist that I'll talk about that I've been listening to is Nine and Dex, which is the dudes that are behind Pete and Bass, which
Yeah.
is them older British dudes that be rapping.
Mhm.
Nine and Dex are like the actual group that does their voices, and they got their own music too.
Yeah, that's a crazy story when you told me
Yeah,
that.
bro. And they don't got a lot of vibes out right now, but the vibes they do got out are super dope.
Yep.
I like the sound. Everybody I've showed them to has enjoyed their sound. And I'm excited, like I was for Central C. I'm excited to see what they're gonna kind of be
Yep.
on and what new joints they're gonna drop. And that's pretty much, I would say that's mostly everything that I've been tapped into this year.
your
Aside from the
2024
normal stuff
wrap
for
up?
2024. Yep.
Yeah.
Aside from the normal stuff that I always got on my playlist. Yep.
Yeah. I think for me, one thing that surprised me in my recap was that it wasn't Drake. Because normally all the way up to probably the leading years is always Drake. Just go back to Drake, classic Drake.
So let me ask you a quick question. Do you think the Kendrick thing had anything to do with you branching out?
I think so.
You think so?
And
Alright.
the change in the style of how he puts music out now.
Yeah, that's something for sure that I know I've mentioned and that you've agreed on is like
Yeah.
some of the newer stuff he's dropped. It don't have no replay value.
Yeah, for
you know
me
what I
it
mean?
doesn't, because some of my boys they still listen to it, and they were at the top of their list, and we like the same music, and that's what kind of surprises me sometimes. But for what I like him for, and what the music I like to hear from him, and For All the Dogs was good. Had a few, maybe 2 or 3 tracks that I still listen to, but today I couldn't name the track list in order as I can every other album for him. What was at the top of my list was We Still Don't Trust You. Future and Metro Boomin. I did not know how much I listened to that album. And it was probably I could say 3 or 4 months straight. That's the first album I put on every single time I walked into the gym. That was it. I know every single song on that album. I know the order of them songs. I know every single word. And that was shocking to me. That and French Montana. I didn't mention this last time we talked. The French Montana album, Mac and Cheese 5.
Word.
I didn't realize how much I listened to that. It was just
So
a good.
were
I'm not
you
even
big
big
on
on.
Future before this album?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I'm a big
gotcha,
Future.
gotcha.
Yeah,
And
I
what
have
about French? Same thing. You were
French.
big on him
No,
before? Okay.
French. No, and that's one thing. I've always liked Future. I have like 56 Nights. I have Monster. I have the one with him and Drake. Um, I have Dirty Sprite.
Yeah.
What was the other one? These are the vinyls that I just bought last year,
Word.
and one more.
Dirty Sprite 2 maybe? Beast
Oh
Mode?
yeah, yeah. Oh, Beast Mode, Beast Mode. Yeah, I fuck on that bitch while we lay it. I love that song. But yeah, so I remember the first. I keep forgetting. Was the first one "We Don't Trust You," and then the second one
Yeah,
was
and
"We
we
Still
still
Don't
don't
Trust."
trust you.
Yeah, I didn't listen to the first one much outside of
The big tracks.
yeah, the big two tracks like that, and the
She a Vibe or something like that.
no, the one where I posted it today, but so that's why I was like, this ain't for me. And then the second one came out, and I started listening to it, and I didn't stop listening to it.
Yeah, it was a completely different album.
Yeah, it was just like it was like all the mixtapes. They had something from all the mixtapes put together for me, and that's what I say. I didn't acknowledge because of all the Drake stuff and the Kendrick stuff, and being that it started with the Future track, I really didn't give him the credit of him putting a good ass album out because I attribute it all to he's trying to bring everybody against Drake kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I get what you're saying. Like a publicity stunt type vibe.
Yeah. But yeah, I still love that album to this day. It's all of my playlists is majority of those albums. As far as old stuff that I tap back into, I have to say the Locks, and that's because we prepped for that Lock concert at the Beacham in Orlando.
Shout out to
and
Unc again, man.
Yeah,
Y'all went
Uncle-
out there.
Yeah, me and Uncle's out there. We had a good time, man. They put on a hell of a show. So we had a playlist, and I listened to that playlist of their set list because that's what I do when I prep to go to a concert. I make a playlist of their set list. You go to setlist.com and you see all their latest shows, and it's pretty much the same
Yeah, yeah.
structure.
Yeah, that's something I caught on too late was getting the set list of stuff
Mm-hmm.
and listening to it. Just to kind of get familiar with it before I go to the concert.
And that helps you remember the songs. And I and that's what led to like it was a set list for the concert, so I made that playlist. Then it turned into a Jada Kiss playlist. Then it turned into a Locks playlist and like straight up rapping, not just like the lady songs. Because we saw like on the verses that he got the lady songs, he got the bangers. For
He
that.
got the hits.
Yeah, but it was more like just straight up rapping.
Yeah.
And it made me appreciate what rap was before then when they were just rapping just to see how good each other rap. So I liked it. That was a lot of my listening last year as well.
Yeah, that was something that is always funny to me how they talk about Jadakiss is like people always love to say that he don't got albums or good songs or whatever. But for somebody that they always say that about, when you go back to his library,
Yeah.
he got bangers, bro.
Oh, yeah, he
it's like
does.
he don't got them the way that you would imagine because he's not like coming for that commercial appeal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just giving you good music as far as like hip hop fans go,
Yeah,
bro.
no, it was fire. All that just brought back so many memories. Me in high school, I was in high school, so I remember being in high school during that time, just always wearing Timbs and big shirts and big jerseys. Like it brought back a lot of nostalgia for sure.
Yeah, man. And somebody that's kind of on the flip side of that coin for me is like French Montana. You had brought him up earlier. And he's somebody that I listened to very early on because of the connection to Max B.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Goose. He always was bumping that Max B and the Wave and Mac and Cheese and all that. He was from New York, so
Yeah.
he just kind of came down with that energy of like that kind of music and everything. So I always listened to his music from back in the day, but for me, he's always so inconsistent. So it's funny to
Yeah.
hear like that you weren't really a fan, but the new joint you listen to it and you rock with
and
it.
that's I like his inconsistent side. Like I don't like when he puts out what he normally puts out, but that Mac and Cheese 5 didn't align with all the other ones. It was more like I say
I
like
gotta
a
peep.
DJ Khaled of rap because he had a crazy features, crazy melodies, crazy beats, crazy hooks, simple ass 1-2 line punch bars, but everything hit. I loved it all, man. It was really,
I'm gonna
really
add that
good.
to my playlist. I didn't even that wasn't even on my radar. I didn't even
Yeah,
listen to any of
I
that
listened to
music.
that a lot. And I still remember we was at a tailgate. My boy says, "Put a song that it's gonna hit. It's gonna hit." And I went straight to that album.
What song? What song?
I can't. It was. It was said.
Who's on it?
Oh no! Now I gotta look it up. Hold
But
on. Now I gotta
you
look it
gotta
up.
leave that for the people so they can peep
Yeah.
that in the car. You know what I'm saying? Throw it up on the way to work.
It was. As soon as I hear the intro, I know exactly what it's gonna be. Cause like I said, when he makes something that as soon as I hear it, oh okay, it's with Lil Baby and ATL Jacob. Mm. Shorty says she need a break. I guess we're going to Mars. Okay.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm not
Okay
gonna
is
lie,
the
you got me
banger.
hyped to check that out. I'm gonna peep that.
Okay is a banger for me. Like he was like, put something that's gonna get everybody hyped. I put that on. As soon as you hear that, everybody was like, oh, okay, let's go.
All right, quickly, who you looking forward to hearing some dope music from this year?
Um, I don't know because the year started off good with Bad Bunny, and it's bringing me back to my Spanish, my reggaeton salsa era. I've been listening to a lot of reggaeton lately. Um, I can't say I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait to see who really brings. So I would love to hear some more J. Cole.
Gotcha.
He says something's coming when it's coming. I'm gonna see the last Weekend album of his, his character as the Weekend, as he says before he turns into Abel permanently. I do want to hear that if it comes back with like some House of Balloons and Thursday and Echoes of Silence, mixtape era tracks. But anticipation, as far as music's been the last few years, I don't anticipate much anymore. I just
I
see
feel you.
who could really bring something good out.
Yeah, so as we speak now, Central C dropped a new album. Shout out to Yoda. He put me on, let me know that it was out. I didn't even know, to be honest. So I'm definitely going to check that out. From the first couple tracks I heard, it was pretty dope. So I'm hoping that could carry me a little bit throughout the year. Maybe there's some anthems on there.
Yeah.
Kind of like you said,
I'm a
bro.
baby.
I'm not really looking forward to anything specifically just because a lot of the artists that I like kind of dropped already.
Yeah.
End of last year or, just during last year. So we'll see what happens, man. But definitely been a lot of good music, so I'm hyped to see what else comes next.
Yep.